We are now recording. Today is Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, May 29th, 2013, and it's approximately 9:50 a.m. This is Detective Nate Williams of the Office of Professional Standards. This interview is taking place in my office here at 129 Valor Boulevard and is in reference to case number CC 2013-007. Present with me is Officer Joshua Mersereau. Officer Mersereau, a moment ago I read to you a form called the Internal Investigation Pre-Interview Notification Form. Is this your signature here at the bottom?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Officer Mersereau, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give here is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
All righty. Officer Mersereau, this case is, or this interview rather, is in reference to an incident that occurred on April 13th of this year, shortly after midnight at the ocean deck. You recall the incident that I'm speaking of?
I do.
Okay, if you would, tell me how it is that you became involved in this particular case.
We got dispatched there. We were actually a TAC unit that night, working a overtime operation, a JAG op or a TNT op, and we got dispatched there in reference to a physical fight.
Okay, and what happened? What happened once you arrived on scene?
When we got there, we spoke with the manager. He advised that there was 3 individuals at the bottom of the stairs, 2 males, 1 female, and they were being physically aggressive with other customers and their staff. Okay,
when you say we, who else was with you on that?
Pardon me, Officer Jack Murray and myself.
Okay, Officer Murray and yourself. Was anybody else, any other officer there at the time that you guys arrived and made contact downstairs?
No, there wasn't. It was just me and Jack Murray.
Okay. Once you got downstairs, what did you walked down the stairs with the manager, I take it?
Correct. He had portrayed to me, or he had communicated to me that the 3 had to go. They were trespassed. He didn't want them there anymore, and they were trespassed.
Okay, so I'm taking it that he pointed these people out to you.
Yes,
and that's how you knew who to contact.
Yes,
or make contact with.
The bouncers did. Yeah, at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Once you made contact with this group, tell me what transpired then.
Well, we tried talking to him. Jack did. Jack initiated a conversation with a fairly tall black male. Tried to get the story, what was going on. He didn't want to hear it. If I may add, that all this was caught on video, as you know, my body cam. He tried to get to the bottom of what was going on. He tried to talk to this guy about the situation. The female stepped up. She said she called 911. So in the process of trying to get to the bottom of the story of why these people were being physically aggressive toward the staff, the ocean deck staff, things just got out of hand.
Okay. And when you say they got out of hand, what exactly are you speaking of? What actions actually were?
The tall black male was starting to get physically aggressive toward who I don't even know. I think it was a bouncer that was behind us that we talked to after the fact. Mm-hmm. Officer Murray told him to stop pointing, stop reaching across him, at least twice. As we were trying to talk to this black female, which they turned out to be husband and wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, we were trying to talk to her. He reached across Jack again, and Jack told him, would you, it was getting to the point where, something had to be done. He told him to stop a 3rd time or a 2nd time. I think it was a 3rd time. It's on the video, and I can't remember if it was 2nd or 3rd. He reached out and pushes Jack, kind of hits him in the shoulder, like he wasn't going to stop. So at that point, I took him to the ground. I initiated contact, put him on the ground, and put him in handcuffs.
So what you saw what you saw from the complainant in this case, Mr. Johnson, was him. He made contact with Officer Murray.
Yes.
Okay, and what did that make you feel, or how did you perceive that?
I felt like we needed to intervene. I felt like I needed to intervene. Like we needed to put this guy in handcuffs to kind of if nothing else, make him pay attention to what's going on. Like I said, he reached out and pushed Jack like he wasn't going to listen to anybody. I didn't see the situation going anywhere but downhill from there. So I did what I did.
Did you think that to be a safety issue?
Absolutely.
An officer safety issue?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. What else happened after that, Officer Murray?
We went ahead and I went ahead and put him on the ground. It was nothing violent. It was more of I grabbed him by the the right wrist, in the back of the shoulder area, got him to the ground. He didn't give much resistance. At that point, there's another male there and another female, and the female who was starting to walk toward us. So I looked back and engaged them and told them to back up.
And that's when you disengaged him and,
yes.
and went to the crowd.
And was more concerned of the crowd, and if I didn't want anything really to happen with taking this guy in custody. You don't want to take a bottle or a boot or something. I just didn't want to any chances. Like I said, he wasn't resisting. He wasn't offering much resistance at that point. So Jack could handle it. I knew Jack could handle it, so I went ahead and turned my back to the suspect and Jack and dealt with the female and the other male. Told him to back up.
Okay. All right. What happened then?
At that point, I heard Jack struggling, and this guy apparently, at that point, it kind of escalated. He started resisting and didn't want to put his hands behind his back. It wasn't a huge deal. Jack regained control of his hand, and we went ahead and got him in custody.
Okay. And what happened? What happened from there?
At that point, things had kind of cooled off a little bit. Jack stood the suspect up, started walking him out. I made contact with the bouncer. It was loud down there, so we wanted to get out of there. We wanted to do our investigation up on the blacktop, up on the in the parking lot, so we could hear each other. So Jack moved the suspect out. At that point, I contacted the bouncer. Contacted me and told me that the black female had punched him and jumped on his back, assaulted him, or committed a battery. So at that point, he advised that he just wanted him trespassed. He didn't want any charges pressed at that point. So I told the one black female and the other black male that was with this other guy, let's go up the stairs. Mm-hmm. So we all went up the stairs and went out to the car. Went out to the awaiting patrol office on Ocean Avenue.
Okay. What happened from there? Once you got up top, what happened from there as far as this incident?
This guy, I don't think he said he was from the Bahamas. Well, he couldn't understand why we put him in custody for putting his hands on a police officer. He didn't understand that. And then I tried to settle things down and talk to his wife about things. Mm-hmm. And I hope that's on video. I don't know if it was loud and I couldn't hear it beeping. So, but I talked to her for as much as 10 minutes, mm-hmm. trying to explain to her what happened, why we did what we did. And she commenced to try to explain to me that that's not the way it is in the Bahamas. The police don't do that in the Bahamas. She gave me a pretty good explanation on what things transpire and how things are in the Bahamas. And I tried to explain to her that she's not in the Bahamas. She's in Daytona Beach. We need to maintain a certain level of order. And and that's why we did what we did. Like I said, we had a civilized conversation between me and her as to what was going on after he was in handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to explain to her the bouncers. Apparently, this whole situation stemmed from the guy that was in custody. His friend was throwing up all over the bar. Apparently, he was so drunk. That's why the bouncers grabbed him and wanted to throw him out. So that's how that fight began with the bouncers. And I told them that I tried telling her that the bouncers can refuse. I tried to bring it down a level and explain to her what was going on and why we did what we did. Like I said, I had about a 10-minute conversation with her, and she just wasn't hearing it. It wasn't. That's not the way it is in the Bahamas, and that's why he acted like he did. So, I guess, and in the end, we agreed to disagree, but he was still going to go to jail.
Okay. Now, at the point you guys had got back up top on the hard top, or getting ready to make the transfer, get the suspect into the patrol vehicle.
Yes.
At that point, was he still cooperative or belligerent, or even though he was in handcuffs, how was the scene up there?
He was still argumentative. He was never any more physically. He never got any more physically aggressive toward us, but he was starting to be. He was very argumentative. At one point he became, I don't know, I guess you call it babyish. He just, like, he's passed out, not physically resisting us, but passively resisting us. He didn't want to stand up. He just like acting like he was passed out, which he wasn't.
Okay. Did he get in the car willingly, or?
I'd have to look at the video, but to the best of my recollection, there wasn't anything. Like I said, there might have been some passive resistance, like he didn't want to put his foot in, or there was never any physical, aggressive, not wanting to get in the car. It was more passive, like just letting his body weight go and acting like he was passed out.
Alrighty. Officer Mersereau, is it anything else that you can recall that we have not discussed from this incident?
No.
All right. Now, just to recap on what we've spoken about, when you were downstairs, you felt as though there was an officer safety issue with Mr. Johnson reaching or touching or grabbing or pushing. I don't know exactly what your terminology was in that sense, but when he made contact with Officer Murray, you felt as though that was an officer safety issue and you had to step in at that particular time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. Have you made any contact with either Mr. or Mrs. Johnson since this incident?
No, I have not.
You haven't heard from them telephonically?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Very good. You have any questions for me?
No, I don't.
All right. If that being all, it's approximately 10:04 a.m. And this concludes this interview.